Miss Jackie's Motivational Monday. Our mental capacity can only hold so much. While I was pregnant with Julian, I was huge. He was a summer baby. I couldn't even get my feet into shoes. I had to wear slides. And I eventually spent the end part of my pregnancy with him on bed rest. But I remember while I was pregnant with him, there was a young lady that was around my mom. And we were about the same when it came to due dates. And so as I was getting closer to my due date, I would ask how things were going with this young lady. And, just because we were close in age, and my mother was dealing with her on a, more regular basis than myself because I lived out of state. And she would tell me, how things were going. And then, of course, the big moment, delivering Julian, my, baby that was born on 7/7/2000. And I remember asking how things were going with this young lady. I'm like, I know, I delivered Julian. She should have delivered as well. And she told me, oh, she had the baby. And I was like, oh, okay. And as things were going along, I'm navigating this new thing called parenthood. And I just remember asking additional questions. And then eventually, as time moved on, and I was like, how are things going? I'm thinking about everything we're dealing with Julian. And my mom said, well, she had the baby. She said, but when she went to have another procedure, she didn't make it. That was like, I can't even explain to you the emotional part of that. I just felt like, what did I just hear? What do you mean she didn't make it? I made it and she didn't. It was so many thoughts and emotions. And then it brought me to the fact of realizing when I was asking, my mother gave me just enough information. She didn't lie to me. She gave me enough that she felt like my mental capacity could hold. So when I asked, had she had her baby? She did. And my mother told me, yes, she did. And that's where information stopped. See, at that moment, I was just so caught up in my emotions. I'm thinking, at first, why wouldn't you have told me? But then as I move along and I'm now a parent myself, I truly understand what she did. We have to make sure that we have people around us that protect our mental capacity and not feel the need to tell us everything, because sometimes we don't need everything. I'm one of three girls. I'm the youngest. I'm the baby. And I know my sisters have protected my mental capacity over the years and still do. They tell me just enough information that I need to know without telling me everything all the time. And I feel like it's a hierarchy. My older sister only tells her middle sister so much, and then they only tell me so much. And it's okay. That's how life is. And I respect the fact that they respect my mental capacity. It's the same way my husband respects my mental capacity. You all need to think about, do you have people around you that respect your mental capacity and don't feel the need to just give you information that you can't do anything with? It's not going to change anything to know all those details and everything. It's just not something you need. And just know when they start talking, you have the right to say, whoa, I've heard enough. And that's okay. You can tell them, I don't need to hear anymore. That's all I need. And you're basically setting up that boundary so they start to understand you don't need a full mental dump all the time. Just give me just enough that you know my mental capacity can handle. Moving forward, look for people who respect your mental capacity. Build a boundary so they start to know when enough is enough. And just know you can mentally dump things that people have put in your mind. Because if not, those burdens will weigh you down.